Evil demon. He bit my what? Help! He's a demon!
Is someone there? State your name.
Puppet. There's someone I care for.
Of a rain of blood.
Kill him.
Let's go! Himura! Furutaka was just arrested by the tonight. The Patriots are planning infusion. They'll take the Emperor.
Going.
They'll be at the Igadaya Nyabe, but Katsura will be caught. Where? Sir! One of them.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm captain of the first unit, Shikidaya Battousai.
We're here to bring order back to Kyoto!
For.
Temple up in the hills. But now.
To the very end.
Listen well. That coin. I can't take... So now... Haven't forgotten how this whole thing... Satoh-san. He must have these days. No matter how small the shoot may be, it maintained peace for 300 years. With our lives. This world by our sins. A warrior's sins can be what does it ultimately kill you? Why keep on fighting? For what cause?
Saito of the Shinsengumi! It's the Emperor's banner! Yes! Not over yet.
Hey guys, today we're diving deep into the grim, blood-soaked origins of the legendary Rurouni Kenshin with the final chapter part 2, The Beginning. Prepare yourselves, because this isn't your usual lighthearted hero's journey. This is where our boy Himura Kenshin earned his infamous moniker, Battousai the Manslayer. We're talking swords, rain, and a whole lot of oops. I killed again. We'll explore the sheer, unadulterated chaos that shaped him, the heart-wrenching betrayals, and the tragic love that etched itself onto his very soul. If you like this sneak peek, hit the like button and subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel and let me know you want more. So let's just jump right into the deep end, shall we? Our story kicks off in Kyoto, 1864, smack dab in the middle of the Bakumatsu era, a time when peace was just a rumor. Kenshin, a fresh-faced assassin for the Isshin Shishi, is less fresh-faced and more covered in a rather liberal amount of opponent's fresh face. He's a killing machine, dispatching shogunate samurai with terrifying efficiency. The metallic clang of his katana, the swish of rain-soaked cloth, and the thud of bodies hitting the muddy ground are his symphony. After a particularly brutal engagement where he's carved his way through a small army, he's left alone in the pouring rain, blood dripping from his blade. And then there she is, Tomoe Yukishiro, standing perfectly still amongst the carnage, a stark white dress against the crimson backdrop. No fear, no judgment, just a quiet intensity that catches even the Battousai off guard. It's like finding a pristine snowflake in a slaughterhouse, utterly out of place, yet undeniably captivating. He's probably thinking, is this a trap, or did I just find the world's most stoic fan? Back at the Isshin Shishi hideout, things are getting a little tense. Katsura Kogoro, Kenshin's mentor and the big boss, is having a serious chat with his lieutenants. The topic? Kenshin's increasing bloodlust. He's becoming too effective, too merciless. The Battousai legend is growing, but it's also making him a target and a symbol of brutal violence, which isn't exactly the PR Katsura needs for a revolution. The crackling fire in the hearth does little to warm the icy air of their discussion. Katsura paces, his voice a low, urgent murmur, emphasizing the political tightrope they're walking. He acknowledges Kenshin's unparalleled skill. The whoosh of his sword, the sheer power of each strike is undeniable, but the collateral damage, the sheer number of lives taken, weighs heavily. It's a classic case of he's great at his job, but maybe too great. They're essentially saying, we love the results, but can we tone down the bloody ghost vibe a little? Despite the danger, Katsura brings Tomoe into their fold, supposedly as a way to keep her safe and, let's be real, keep an eye on her. She's a quiet storm, this one. She barely speaks, just observes. She moves like a shadow, the rustle of her garments almost imperceptible. While the other Isshin Shishi members are busy with strategy and plotting, their voice is a constant hum in the background. Tomoe simply sits, watching everything with eyes that seem to hold a universe of unspoken secrets. Kenshin, ever the observant killer, can't help but notice her. She's an enigma, a puzzle he can't quite solve with a sword. Every time he catches her gaze, there's an almost imperceptible flutter, a sense of something else. It's like she's a glitch in his violent matrix, a soft chord in a symphony of screams. To maintain cover and gather intel, Kenshin and Tomoe are assigned their first mission together, pretending to be a married couple to infiltrate a shogunate official's residence. Talk about an awkward first date. They walk through the bustling market, the cacophony of vendors hawking their wares, the scent of street food mixing with the faint odor of horse dung. Kenshin, usually a whirlwind of destruction, tries to act normal, which for him probably means not actively dismembering anyone. Tomoe, ever serene, fits the role perfectly. The rustle of her simple kimono, the gentle sway of her steps. She's a picture of domestic tranquility, a stark contrast to the coiled viper beside her. It's a strangely intimate act, even if it's just a performance. The tension is palpable. You could cut it with Kenshin's katana if he wasn't so busy trying to look like a civilian. Their mission is, of course, a cover for Kenshin to eliminate a target. The infiltration is seamless thanks to Tomoe's quiet efficiency. Once inside, Kenshin reverts to Battousai. The scene cuts to him, under the cold gaze of the moon, cleaning his blade. The metallic scrape of steel against cloth, the wet sheen of blood washing off. It's a grim ritual. His face, usually set in a mask of determination during battle, is now etched with a profound weariness. Tomoe watches him, her expression unreadable. She doesn't flinch, doesn't condemn, just watches. It's in these quiet moments that the weight of his actions truly settles. The whoosh of his blade is followed by the deafening silence of a life extinguished. You almost feel the chill of the night air and the cold steel of his sword just by watching him. It's not just blood he's washing away. It's a part of himself, over and over again. As Kenshin continues his grim work, the camera often focuses on Tomoe, alone in her quiet moments. She sits by the window, moonlight illuminating her pensive face. The only sound is the gentle rustle of her clothes as she shifts, or the distant croak of a frog. She often holds a small, elegant knife, turning it over in her hands. It's not a weapon of war, but something more personal, more ceremonial. The way she handles it suggests a familiarity, a hidden purpose. Is it for self-defense? A keepsake? Or something far more sinister? We, the audience, are left guessing, trying to decipher the subtle clues in her movements and her quiet intensity. It's like watching a really slow-motion thriller where every little gesture is a potential plot twist. And you're just waiting for the gotcha moment. Katsura. Seeing Kenshin's deteriorating mental state and probably realizing that a rampaging murder machine isn't the best long-term asset, decides Kenshin needs a sabbatical. So he sends Kenshin and Tomoe to a remote, snow-covered village, posing as a newlywed couple. Their mission: lie low, heal, and try not to attract attention. It's a drastic change of pace. Instead of the metallic clang of swords, Kenshin hears the crunch of snow underfoot and the rhythmic thud of an axe chopping wood. He's now farming, fetching water, and generally trying to act like a normal human being, which for him is probably a greater challenge than fighting 10 samurai at once. Tomoe, surprisingly, thrives in this environment. She teaches him about simple tasks, her touch gentle, her voice a soft murmur. The tactile experience of the rough wooden handles, the cold water splashing, the warmth of the fire. It's a sensory overload for someone used to only the feel of a katana hilt and the spray of blood. It's almost sweet in a "my assassin husband is learning to garden" kind of way. Even in their remote haven, danger has a nasty habit of finding Kenshin. While out in the woods, he's ambushed by a handful of assassins. The fighting is quick and brutal. The snow turns red. Kenshin, still slightly rusty from his domestic life, fights with his usual blinding speed. The whoosh of his blade cuts through the crisp winter air, accompanied by the desperate grunts and cries of his attackers. But this time he isn't flawless. One of the assassins, a particularly desperate one, manages to get a lucky strike. A sharp, stinging pain and then a gash across Kenshin's left cheek. The metallic taste of his own blood fills his mouth. It's the first part of his iconic cross-shaped scar, a physical manifestation of his bloody past, and an unwelcome reminder that even in retirement, the past isn't done with him. Tomoe watches from a distance, her hand flying to her mouth, a gasp catching in her throat, the first crack in her stoic facade. After the ambush, Tomoe meticulously tends to Kenshin's wound. Her fingers, usually so still, are gentle as she applies herbs and bandages. The faint, earthy scent of the medicine fills the small cabin. Kenshin, unaccustomed to such tenderness, is visibly affected. By the crackling fire later that night, their guard is down. He reaches out hesitantly and gently touches her cheek. The warmth of his hand against her skin, the shared silence, the soft glow of the flames. It's a moment of fragile peace, a testament to the unexpected bond growing between them. It's a relationship built on shared trauma and quiet understanding, a surprising development for a killer and his mysterious companion. You can almost hear the awe track playing if this wasn't such a grim and violent movie. It's like they're trying to outrun their past, but their past brought them together. Just as we start to believe in their newfound tranquility, the rug is savagely pulled out from under us. Tomoe, under the cloak of night, slips away from the cabin. The soft crunch of snow is the only sound as she meets with a shadowy figure deep in the forest. This isn't a romantic rendezvous, folks. This is a cold, calculated betrayal. The figure is revealed to be a member of the Yamanobu, a group of shogunate assassins who lost a loved one to Kenshin's blade. We finally learn Tomoe's devastating secret. She's there to spy on Kenshin, to soften him, to make him vulnerable for her revenge. Her mission is to lead him to his doom, a grim twist on happily ever after. The silence between them is thick with dark purpose, and the rustle of leaves as she returns tells a tale of heartbreaking deception. It's like realizing your perfect date was actually a corporate spy trying to steal your secret sauce recipe. A flashback plunges us into Tomoe's past, revealing the tragic event that set her on this path of vengeance. We see Kiyosato Akira, her fiancé, a kind and earnest young samurai. Their love was innocent, beautiful. The tactile warmth of his hand in hers, the gentle murmur of his voice. These moments are starkly contrasted with the brutal reality of his end. The scene replays the opening assassination, but this time from Kiyosato's perspective. He was one of the guards Kenshin cut down, his final moments filled with confusion and terror, his sword clattering uselessly to the ground. The crack of Kenshin's blade, the whoosh of his attack, these sounds now echo with a profound sense of loss for Tomoe. His death was a direct consequence of Kenshin's mission, and it shattered her world. The revelation is a gut punch, adding layers of tragedy to her silent suffering. The Yamanobu, led by the ruthless Tatsumi, decide it's time to spring their trap. They send a false message, luring Kenshin away from the village under the guise of an urgent Ishin-Shishi matter. The crunch of snow under Kenshin's boots as he departs is heavy with foreboding. He's walking straight into the lion's den, unaware that the bait was his own perceived duty. The weather turns foul, a fierce blizzard descending, perfectly mirroring the treacherous plot unfolding. The wind howls, a mournful cry that seems to warn him of the impending danger. It's a classic villain move, honestly. Oh, you're the greatest assassin alive? Let's send you a fake text message about a very important meeting in the middle of nowhere. You just know it's going to end well, right? Back in the village, Tomoe has a terrifying realization. The Yamanobu aren't just trying to kill Kenshin. They're planning to torture him, to make him suffer as Sato did. Her vengeance, once so clear, now feels tainted, too cruel. The crackling fire she sits by suddenly feels like a burning judgment. The quiet murmur of the wind outside turns into a desperate plea. Overcome with guilt and a burgeoning, unexpected love for Kenshin, she makes a desperate choice. She bolts out into the blizzard, the biting wind whipping her hair and clothes. The deep snow hinders her every step, but she pushes on, driven by a desperate urgency. Her breath comes in ragged gasps, her hands numb with cold. She knows Kenshin's exact location, a piece of intel she provided, making her complicity all the more agonizing. It's a race against time, against fate, against her own past decisions. The thought of Kenshin's pain, the metallic clang of swords, and his eventual demise spur her onward. Kenshin arrives at the supposed meeting point, only to find himself in a clearing, surrounded by Tatsumi's Yamanobu assassins. Surprise, it's not a meeting. It's a meticulously planned ambush. The air is thick with tension, the only sounds the swirling wind and the crunch of their boots in the snow. Kenshin, ever the Battousai, doesn't hesitate. His sword, a blur of silver, flashes through the blizzard. The metallic clang of steel on steel echoes through the trees, punctuated by the grunts of men and the whoosh of Kenshin's powerful strikes. He fights with a feral intensity, moving like a phantom, cutting down his opponents with brutal efficiency. But there are too many, and they're skilled, specifically targeting his weaknesses. Each blow he parries, each life he takes, is a desperate fight for survival, the biting wind now carrying the scent of blood and desperation. It's less a fight and more a masterclass in how to die gracefully, or, in Kenshin's case, how to not die gracefully and take everyone else with you. The battle rages, but Kenshin is clearly outmatched by sheer numbers and the clever tactics of the Yamanobu. They've specifically designed this ambush to wear him down, to drain him of his energy and his will. He fights valiantly, the whoosh and clang of his sword a testament to his enduring skill. But he's wounded, bleeding from multiple cuts, the crimson staining the pristine white snow around him. The cold seeps into his bones, and exhaustion begins to take its toll. Finally, after an agonizing struggle, he collapses to his knees, his breath coming in ragged gasps. His grip on his katana loosens. His face is a mask of pain and despair, the weight of his past actions, his current predicament, and Tomoe's perceived betrayal crushing him. The deafening silence after the furious battle is almost worse than the noise, amplifying his defeat. It's like watching your favorite video game character run out of health potions at the boss fight. You just know it's not going to end well, just as Tatsumi, the Yamanobu leader, prepares to deliver the killing blow, his sword arcing down with a terrifying whoosh. A white blur flashes into view. Tomoe, having finally reached the clearing, throws herself in front of Kenshin. Tatsumi's sword, meant for Kenshin, pierces through her. The sickening thud of the blade entering flesh, the gasp from Tomoe, the sudden shock in Kenshin's eyes. It's a moment of devastating, heartbreaking sacrifice. Her betrayal is undone by her ultimate act of love. She crumples, impaled, her body shielding Kenshin from the fatal strike. Her small knife, the one she always carried, falls from her hand, landing softly in the snow, a symbol of her discarded vengeance. The crimson spray against the white snow, the sudden silence after the deafening clang of battle are seared into Kenshin's memory. It's the ultimate plot twist, the kind that makes you want to throw your popcorn at the screen. In the chaos of Tomoe's sacrifice as she falls, her hand, still clutching her small, elegant knife, collapses onto Kenshin's face. The blade, meant for another purpose, inadvertently drags across his cheek, crossing the first scar, a sharp, stinging pain, then the warm trickle of fresh blood. This isn't a battle wound. It's a wound of love, of loss, of irreversible tragedy. The second line of his iconic cross-shaped scar is etched onto his face, a permanent, agonizing reminder of Tomoe, her betrayal, and her ultimate sacrifice. The metallic tang of her blood mixes with his own, a grim, sensory reminder of the interwoven fates. It's a brutal, poetic moment, a symbolic branding of his soul. The whisper of the wind carrying her last breath is almost a physical sensation. This scar is less about a fight he won, and more about a battle he tragically lost, despite surviving. Tomoe's death shatters Kenshin. The last vestiges of his humanity, the peace she had brought him, are obliterated. He lets out a guttural roar, a sound born of pure, unadulterated grief and rage. His eyes, usually cold and focused, now blaze with a terrifying, wild intensity. He rises no longer just a skilled assassin, but a force of nature. The remaining Yamanobu don't stand a chance. His movements are impossibly fast, a blur of red and black against the white snow. The whoosh of his sword is a continuous deadly hum. The metallic clang of his blade ripping through flesh, the sickening crunch of bone. It's a symphony of carnage. He moves through them like a ghost, each strike precise, devastating, merciless. He doesn't just defeat them. He obliterates them, a one-man whirlwind of vengeance. It's a brutal, visceral explosion of raw power, fueled by the agonizing loss he just endured. You can almost feel the ground shake with his fury, the chill of the air doing nothing to quell the inferno within him. When the storm of Kenshin's rage finally subsides, the clearing is silent once more, save for the whistling wind. He stands alone, covered in blood, his, Tomoe's, and his enemies. The ground is littered with bodies, a testament to his unleashed fury. The metallic clang of his katana as he sheathes it resonates with a final, chilling note. His face, now bearing the full cross-shaped scar, is devoid of emotion, a blank canvas of profound trauma. He is alive, yes, but utterly broken, hollowed out by grief and the sheer weight of the lives he's taken. The cold, biting wind seems to carry the whispers of the fallen, a chilling auditory reminder of the price of his survival. It's a heavy silence, the kind that presses in on you, filling every void. You just know this moment will haunt him forever, a constant tactile ache. Katsura and his Ishin Shishi comrades eventually arrive at the horrific scene. The sight is grim, a clearing soaked in blood, bodies strewn everywhere. The crunch of their boots in the snow feels disrespectful in the face of such devastation. They find Kenshin barely conscious, staring blankly ahead, his spirit utterly crushed. The Battousai, the fearsome assassin, is reduced to a hollow shell. Katsura, seeing the profound toll this has taken, recognizes the irreversible change. He takes Kenshin, his posture slumped, his face pale, away from the scene. The subtle rustle of Kenshin's clothes as he's moved is the only sound. a stark contrast to the cacophony of the recent battle. Katsura understands that this is the moment Kenshin truly became the Manslayer, not just in title but in spirit, forever scarred by the tactile memory of Tomoe's final embrace. It's like picking up the pieces of a broken vase, knowing it will never be whole again. Back in Kyoto, amidst the political turmoil, Kenshin carries his burden in silence. He sits alone holding his katana. The blood still clinging to the blade is a stark reminder of Tomoe's sacrifice and the devastation he wrought. The metallic sheen of the steel reflects his haunted eyes. The tactile memory of her final moments, the cold press of the blade against his skin as she fell, is still raw. He stares at the sword, a tool of death, then slowly, deliberately looks up at the sky. There's a quiet resolve forming within him. He can't undo the past, but he can change his future. He murmurs to himself, a soft whisper almost imperceptible. This moment marks the beginning of his transformation, the birth of the wanderer who vows never to kill again. It's the silent turning point, the point where the Battousai decides man-slaying just isn't a sustainable career path anymore. Ethically speaking, as the years pass, the Bakumatsu era draws to a close. The age of assassins and bloody revolution gives way to a new Meiji era. Kenshin's appearance changes. His hair grows longer, softer, reflecting the internal shift. We see him walking away from the bustling, politically charged city of Kyoto, leaving his past as Battousai behind. The crunch of his sandals on the dusty road, the gentle rustle of his new, less imposing clothes. These are the sounds of a man seeking atonement, a path of peace. He's no longer the cold, efficient killer, but a wanderer, forever carrying the weight of his sins and the memory of Tomoe. It's a powerful visual, symbolizing his profound commitment to his new vow. It's almost like he's saying, okay, I've had my quota of violence. Time for some quiet introspection and maybe a nice, calming cup of tea. The tactile memory of his katana, however, still lingers. As Kenshin embraces his new path, he acquires his iconic sakabato, the reverse blade sword. This isn't just any weapon. It's a physical manifestation of his vow. The blunt side faces outwards, designed to parry and protect, never to take a life. The metallic sheen of the blade is now a symbol of his determination to atone. He runs his thumb along the blunt edge, the tactile sensation a constant reminder of his promise. The whoosh of this blade, when drawn, is no longer a herald of death but a promise of protection. He's still Kenshin, still a master swordsman, but now he fights to save, not to slaughter. It's a powerful, tangible representation of his change, a commitment carved in steel. It's like he finally found the perfect tool for his new no-kill policy, because, let's be honest, trying to fight with a regular sword and not accidentally impale someone is a tough gig. Even with his new resolve and his reverse blade sword, the shadows of Kenshin's past linger. In a quiet moment, we see him gently touch his cross-shaped scar. The tactile memory of the cold steel, the phantom pain of Tomoe's sacrifice, is always with him. His expression is one of profound sorrow, a silent acknowledgement of the lives he took and the love he tragically lost. The soft rustle of his clothes as he lowers his hand is the only sound, emphasizing the weight of his introspection. It's a powerful reminder that while he's chosen a different path, the cost of his past is an indelible part of him. The Battousai may be gone, but the memories, the sounds, the feelings of that brutal era continue to shape the man who would become Rurouni Kenshin. This scar is not just a mark. It's a constantly throbbing ache, a reminder of every whoosh of his blade and every life it extinguished. It's his personal, permanent ouch button. The film closes with Kenshin, now fully the wanderer, on a long, winding road. The gentle crunch of his sandals, the soft sway of his simple pack. These are the sounds of a man on a lifelong journey of atonement. The distant horizon promises a future, but the path behind him is stained with a past he can never truly escape. He carries the weight of Tomoe's sacrifice, the metallic clang of swords, the whoosh of his blade, and the deafening silence of battle always echoing in his mind. But now, he faces it with a different kind of strength, a quiet resolve to protect the innocent. His journey is a testament to the idea that even the darkest past can lead to a path of redemption, however arduous. It's a powerful, thoughtful ending that leaves you pondering the true meaning of peace and sacrifice. And that, my friends, is the brutal, beautiful, and utterly heartbreaking origin story of Himura Kenshin, the Battousai, who became the Rurouni. His path was forged in fire and blood, leading him to a quest for peace that forever defined him. It's a journey that reminds us that even in the deepest despair, hope for a better self can emerge, a gentle whisper against the roar of the past. So, as he walks towards an uncertain horizon, we're left to wonder what new adventures and challenges await this scarred but resolute hero. It's a reminder that true strength isn't just about the sword you wield, but the will to carry the burden of your past while striving for a future free from its chains. What a ride, huh? Truly inspirational if you're into historical assassins finding inner peace.